We're back from vacation, and we're back in the win column. Yesterday's Pikkit play of the day needed a walk-off Giants homer in the bottom of the ninth, but hey, a win is a win. Now it's time to turn the page. The Travelers Championship Round 1 is just about wrapping up. Round 2 is on deck, and we'll break down the leaderboard, the betting board, the biggest NBA moves, tonight's MLB card, and another Pikkit play of the day. Like you say, we get after it. Welcome in to Off the Hook Sports Talk that pays off, powered by Pikkit. Track your crew, your bets, line moves, all in one place with Pikkit. Tommy Trends here with you on a Thursday afternoon, evening-ish. It feels great to be back from vacation, back in the saddle, back winning money. Picking up right where we left off, cashing our first Pikkit play of the day in almost 2 weeks. A Giants walk-off homer in the bottom of the ninth. Not exactly stress-free, sweating that fucker out, but we'll take it. That's what I get as a Dodgers fan, picking the Giants. No wonder I sweated that fucking thing out. But anyway, we're leading with the Travelers Championship. We'll break down where things stand as round 1 is getting ready to wrap up here. And take a look at who I'm looking at for Friday's action, the best betting angles for round 2. We'll go into the NBA draft chaos, free agency chaos. LaMelo Ball headed to Minnesota. Giannis, of course, in Miami. And Al Horford, he's still fucking playing. Apparently he's a Warrior now. We'll go through all that mess, and then we'll hit the MLB card for tonight, some best park factors. We've got a Tommy Trend for you, and then we'll wrap up with another Pikkit play of the day. Hey, listen, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, follow us on YouTube and X at OTH Sports Pod. And let's just get right into everything. And we'll go start with the Travelers Championship Round 1 update. Eric Cole, still your leader at 7 under. He fired off a 63 today. And we told you, look, this course, with the rain that they got, it was going to be soft. And the low scorers, you're going to see them. And we said, coming from a brutal U.S. Open at Shinnecock, and then going to TPC River Highlands here for the Travelers, we said it's going to be a lot different, and there's going to be scoring. And while at the U.S. Open last week, pars, you're grateful if you got a par, and it kept you right there. But if you fire off par as a first-round score here, you're going to be chasing. And we'll go through this leaderboard in just a second here, but you're going to be chasing some big names. Guys you don't want to be chasing after round 1. So looking here, Eric Cole, still your leader. Like I said, he fired off a 63 today, so he's 7 under. And look at that. There's Scheffler right there in the mix in second. He's 6 under. He's through 16. And then you got Matty Fitzpatrick, fired off a 64. Echeverria fired off a 64. Griffin fired off a 64. Rayton fired off a 64, Budkali fired off a 64. So all these guys bottled up here, tied for second. These are guys you don't want to chase. And then you got Justin Rose at 5 under, Cantlay there at 5 under. He's through 17. Again, these are guys you don't want to chase. And looking at some of the other notables here, outside of your leaders, just taking a look. Aaron Rye is 5 under. Snedeker's 5 under right there with Cantlay. Hovland is 5 under. Justin Rose, as you said, 5 under. Corey Connors 5 under. Russell Henley right there in the mix at 4 under. Brian Harmon at 4 under. Now if you checked out our official card for the Travelers, on our X page at OTH Sports Pod, we did have Brian Harmon, took a flyer on him to be a first-round leader. Got close, but no cigar. Finished at 4 under. And Akshay Bhatia right there, 4 under. Sam Burns, he's through 16. He's 4 under. And that was a big question yesterday on Tee to Green. We said, who's going to have momentum coming into the Travelers? And, who's going to have the hangover from the U.S. Open because of the physical and mental grind from Shinnecock, and with Burns with the tough second place finish, it's how is he going to regroup and reset coming in here? But I mean, 4 under through 16. Might be able to squeak out a couple birdies as he finishes up the Bermuda Triangle there at 15, 16, and 17. Then last year's winner, Keegan Bradley, hanging around. He's through 16. He is 3 under. Jackson Suber, who we said was possibly a long shot at 200 to 1. He's 2 under. So again, but he's got these guys, have a lot of ground to gain as you're sitting 2 under or even 1 under. Tommy Fleetwood's 2 under. Gary Woodland's 1 under. Fowler's 1 under. Wyndham Clark 1 under. Coming off the U.S. Open win. Spieth is even. He's through 16, so probably not a good start for Jordan Spieth. Now, we said yesterday that there was a photo taken with Spieth experimenting with some putters. He had a lab putter in his bag, and apparently he's sticking with the blade putter. So we'll see. But that's been the biggest hiccup for Jordan Spieth, has been his putting. It's just been erratic and all over the place. So sticking with the blade putter, and elected to not use the lab putter. He had a couple other ones in his bag that he was messing around with, but sticking with the blade putter, and he is even. And we said it yesterday. This course is about guys who can get hot and start off with a good round 1, good round 2, because some weather is supposed to move in tomorrow with some rain, some wind. And then Saturday and Sunday should be okay with a little less impact from the weather. So, like we said, it's a sprint these first 2 rounds, and you shooting, like I said, shooting par here, you're pretty much cooked. So not that it couldn't happen if, say, Spieth finishes even, and some of these other guys who are even, like Jason Day, Ludwig's even, Tony Finau's even. Again, you just got a lot of ground to make up, and when you got guys firing off 63 and 64, and the conditions should improve outside of tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday should be okay. Outside of that, tomorrow, you're going to get these continuous low scores throughout the weekend. And if you're 6, 7 strokes back, it's a lot of ground to make up here. So we'll see what happens as we continue here throughout the weekend. And an interesting note, so this is one of the shorter courses that the guys will play on tour. It's the last signature event. There's no cut this weekend. But this course, depending on how it's set up, it's 6,800, maybe 6,840, 6,850 as far as the yardage. So like we said, it is one of the shortest courses on tour. And one thing I thought was interesting, so the setup for round 1 of the Travelers was playing 6830 for the yardage. The KPMG Women's PGA Championship is 6820 for yardage. So, yeah. But again, like we said yesterday on Tee to Green, this course isn't just a bomb and gouge course. It's a wedge course. And just because it's short doesn't mean you can just bomb it off the tee and be right there. The winning score here is averaged around 17 under over the last decade or so. Since it became a signature event, that number has jumped close to 20 under. Now, Vegas set the winning score at about 20 and a half under, and that's based on the weather, the softness. So that does make sense. These guys are taking advantage of it today. We said they got over an inch of rain on Monday, some more rain Tuesday, and then tomorrow more rain, some wind in the forecast there. But after that, Saturday and Sunday should be a little bit better conditions as far as scoring goes. So you're going to get birdies, you're going to get scoring. And like we said, from a betting perspective, you need guys who can get hot immediately and start off well and not fire off par, because pars here will kill you. And like we said, there's not one specific profile that fits this course. It's not a bomber's course. You almost need a complete bag because it is really a wedge course. Wedge and short iron control, because 65% of approaches come from 175 yards or less. And a lot of those shots come from the 100 to 150 yard range. So starting point really is your approach play. It's not like last week. It's like we said, it's not like you're hitting a 4 iron into a par four. Um, and these greens here are small, 5,000 to 5,700 square feet, depending upon how it's the whole setup. So you need that precise approach play. You also need to be in the fairway and be playing from the fairway and not from the rough, because the problem is with these soft greens, if you're in the rough and you're not on the fairway, it's hard to control the spin on these soft greens. So if you're airing off the tee, that's not a good thing here, because that'll penalize you. You'll lose control of the ball. If you're airing off the tee. Um, so again, it's like we said last week, U.S. Open, you were thankful for a par because that saved you, but here it could fucking bury you real fast. And obviously, like we said, off the fairway, your birdie chances decrease, and then you're also going to be cooked if you reduce your birdie chances here. So, and then of course your play around the green. Now, TPC River Highlands has been rated one of the tougher courses on tour to gain strokes around the green. These lies vary. You got short grass, you got this rough and this weird collection areas, spots where, you have to get creative, and that's going to matter. And you also need to putt. And this is where it's like we said, could a 58, 59 be possible here? Sure. Um, that's where your putting's gonna come into play here. But you still want that tee to green strength first, because obviously putting is least predictable. So you need guys with high putting ceilings, and then, like I said, these bent grass POA surfaces play more like bent grass and not that bumpy West Coast POA. So some of the things looking in the round two, again, it's still going to be your strokes gained approach, like that proximity approach from 100 to 150 yards out. Can you score on these par fours and birdie or better percentage? Plus, you want to be able to scramble around the greens. And obviously, guys who do well on Pete Dye courses historically do well here. And in this tournament is one of the more predictable courses on tour, because guys who play well at TPC River Highlands tend to play well consistently year after year. And Keegan Bradley is your defending champion, winning 2 of the last 3. The reason we took Harman, potential first round leader, took a flyer on him. I mean, he has 5 straight top 10s here, 7 top 10s in his last 8 starts at this event. And look at Patrick Cantlay, who's right there. He's not finished outside the top 15 here in the last 8 years. Justin Thomas, he's finished 3rd, 9th, 5th, and 9th here. And of course, Scotty has 3 straight top 6 finishes. I did see an interesting stat as Scheffler was playing earlier. Scheffler, historically at this event, he's 47 under on the back 9. That is absolutely insane. So again, Scheffler going into this was your favorite at 4 to 4.5 to 1 as a winner. He's still your favorite because he's right there and making the charge as he's finishing up round 1. So again, that's just some of the what you want to look at going in the weekend. Tomorrow, weather-wise, could be the worst of it with the rain and the wind. But then outside of that, Saturday and Sunday should be better as far as weather goes. If you didn't see our card posted on our X page at OTH Sports Pod, we did take Justin Thomas as an outright winner. We also took a flyer on Eric Cole to be an outright winner. Took Keegan Bradley for top 5, Justin Thomas to have the better of Matt Fitzpatrick in round 1. That was fucking cooked, so we lost that one. We also lost the Harman as the first round leader. And took Sam Burns over Scheffler in round 1, and that still has a chance, but Sam Burns has some work to do because Scheffler is 6 under and Burns is 4 under, so he's got to make up 2 strokes on 17 and 18. So that one's probably cooked too. We did take Sam Burns as the top 10. That's still alive. Schauffele, top 5 finish. And Shoffley is. Let me take a look here where Xander Shoffley is. He is 3 under for the day. He fired off a 67, so not bad. He's still got a lot of work to do if we want him to cash that top 5 finish. Probably fire off some more tomorrow and throughout the weekend. So, you know, keep watching our X page at OTH Sports Pod, and we'll be posting there. Also, you can track them on Pikkit. Listen, if you're not using Pikkit, you're behind the 8 ball and you're betting blind. Go download that Pikkit app. Put in code OTH when you set it up, and you can follow us there on Pikkit, see all our verified bets, and have some fun with it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're not using Pikkit. I don't know what to tell you. You got to download it. You got to use it because everything's right there. Especially if you're live betting, it's the best thing to have right at your fingertips because it gives you the latest lines. And speaking of that, with the tournament just about finishing up round 1, as far as you still get some good numbers on these guys for outright winners. So right now, you even get plus money on Scheffler at he's almost 2-1 on DraftKings, and then there's a huge drop. So Scheffler right now is about 2-1 to win on DraftKings, and then the next best is Matt Fitzpatrick at about 10-1 on FanDuel, and then Cantlay, Eric Cole, Sam Burns, Bud Cauley, Ben Griffin, Hovland. So you're getting some good numbers. Like, for example, you're looking at Eric Cole, who's still your leader at 7 under. He's plus 2,000 right now on FanDuel as an outright winner. Even if you're looking the top 10 numbers for some of these guys. So for a top 10 finish, looking at, let's see, Cantlay, plus 128, Sam Burns plus 136, Eric Cole plus 150. So you're still getting plus money on Cole for a top 10, and he's your outright leader right now. Aaron Rye plus 194 for a top 10. So still a lot of time to get some plus money and to find some value, even though round 1 is just about complete. So again, if you have Pikkit, if you don't have it, you got to get it. If you have Pikkit, you know how useful it is because you sync your book and it tells you the best number, and all you got to do is tap it. It takes you right to your book. You place the bet because when you do live betting, you got to be fast, and every second counts because the lines move frantically. So again, go download Pikkit from the Google Play Store, from the App Store, and then put in code OTH, and you can follow us there and track all our bets because we say we are transparent, and you'll see everything there. Or like I said, it's on our X page at OTH Sports Pod. So a couple things of note here from today's action. Eric Cole is an interesting story. So last year, if you remember, he had a withdrawal before the final round because he had complications from Addison's disease, spent the night in hospital, couldn't even tee it up on Sunday. And then now you look and the guy's outright leader fires off a 63 in round 1. It's a pretty awesome comeback story for Eric Cole. And then Ben James, Connecticut native, local boy, playing on another sponsor exemption, hometown crowd behind him. He finished with a 68 today. So 3 straight impressive starts since turning pro for Ben James. So somebody worth keeping an eye on. Maybe if you want to take a flyer on a top 10 or top 20. Now, do I think he's going to be able to hang and chase some of these guys? I don't think so, but top 10, top 20 is not out of the question, especially firing off a 68. It puts him right there. I mean, he's got some work to do, but again, he's right there in the mix. So, and again, like we said, the course is what we expected, as we said yesterday on Tee to Green. It's short, soft, and it's a wedge course. So wedge shots everywhere, tons of birdie opportunities. And, this Vegas setting that winning score at 20.5 under. I think that's right. We might even get to 25 under. Um, Now, again, it depends. Like we said, weather's going to be more of a factor tomorrow. And then Saturday and Sunday should be better scoring conditions after the weather moves through. So you could, I wouldn't be surprised if it got to 25. So anywhere 20 to 25 under as the winner. And of course, the stretch we talked about yesterday that everybody watches is the Bermuda Triangle, and that's holes 15 through 17. It's one of the best finishing stretches on tour. You can make an eagle, you can make a birdie, you can make a fucking double bogey. I mean, you can fucking snowman. It's all literally within about 20, 25 minutes. The 15th is drivable. You got an island style par 3 on 16. And then you got 17, which really demanding as it wraps around the water. So in that Bermuda Triangle, that's where the tournament is pretty much won or lost right there. And we said yesterday, Jim Furyk fired off at 58 in 2016, still the lowest round in PGA Tour history. And Cantlay shot 60 here as an amateur. Which is the lowest amateur round ever on tour. So it does give you a chance for these guys to go low. History backs that up. So, we should get some. Now, do I think we get a 58, 59? I don't know. Maybe Saturday or Sunday. I don't think tomorrow. But it's possible. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But you are going to get these low scores. Guys finishing 4, 5, 6 under will be consistent throughout the weekend. So if you're betting the tournament live, don't panic. If your guy is 3, 4, 5 shots back tonight, because there is no cut. But again, 5, 6 shots back, you do have a lot of work to do. And of course, Scheffler now up top, he's just going to keep, firing off low rounds. So you are going to have some work to do. Score's going to keep moving. You just got to make it count with those birdie opportunities. So things are far from over, but getting some low scores opening around here at the Travelers Championship. It's like we said, our card is posted on Pikkit. It's also on our X page at OTH Sports Pod. We're still in pretty good shape overall. Didn't cash the first round leader. But overall, still in good shape throughout the weekend, and hopefully we'll cash a few of these and get it done, especially some of these top fives. Maybe Eric Cole hangs on, goes wire to wire. We'll see. It'd be great. But I do think, Burns is the top 10. Keegan Bradley is a top 5. And all these are still alive. So we'll see how it shakes out throughout the weekend. And, make sure you keep watching our X page at OTH Sports Pod throughout the weekend. We'll probably fire off some more and post them there and do some live betting with this. Because this tournament will be fun to live bet here. So, so enough of the Travelers Championship right now. Let's do a quick refresh and see. Eric Cole, still your leader, 7 under with that 63. Scheffler is on 18. He is 6 under. And then Cantlay right there at 5 under, along with Snedeker, Aaron Rai. Hovland is 5 under. Justin Rose, 5 under. Corey Connors, 5 under. And we said it yesterday, Aaron Rai keeps getting disrespected. I didn't take him to win, but didn't make the card. But maybe I'll fire something off with Aaron Rai as we go into the weekend, because before the start of the tournament, I just felt like his number was disrespected, and I felt like his profile fit this course. But didn't make my card, but definitely fired off respectable 65 for Aaron Rai, your PGA Championship winner from Aronimink. So, we also talked about Morikawa. He was 1 under, fired off of 69. So, I talked about him yesterday. Another one that fit this, but with the back injury, it was questionable. But his overall game does fit this course. But Morikawa's got some work to do. So hopefully nobody took Morikawa. But we'll see how this shakes out throughout the weekend. So it looks like Eric Cole Unless Scheffler pulls off some magic here on 18 and birdies at, um, most of these guys are pretty much finished. Burns is also, him and Scheffler played together, so they're both on 18. Everybody's pretty much just about finished. So unless Scheffler birdies this hole here on 18, you'll have Eric Cole as your outright leader here at 7 under, firing off that 63. And more to come on that. Tomorrow's show, we'll give you more round 2 updates. And like I said, keep watching our X page at OTH Sports Pod for more picks throughout the weekend, more live betting. But that's where things stand from Cromwell, Connecticut, the Travelers Championship. Keep an eye on this leaderboard throughout the weekend. And let's move right into the NBA chaos. Round 2 of the draft wrapped up last night. It's officially in the books. And a few teams that absolutely crushed this draft, and a couple that left everyone scratching their fucking heads. So obviously going into this, the biggest headline was Giannis going to the Heat. Yeah, it's fucking old news, whatever. And then late last night, early this morning, LaMelo Ball news broke. He goes to Minnesota. Al Horford, that guy, I feel like Al Horford has been playing for like 20 fucking years in the NBA. I didn't even know Al Horford was still in the fucking league, but apparently he is, and he's going to Golden State. Austin Reeves got his max extension with the Lakers. Boston's still shopping offers for Jaylen Brown. That is an awkward situation. If they don't move Jaylen Brown, I don't even know how you bring the guy back. I just don't see it. I mean, his name's been dangled. It was dangled last year. It's dangled this year. And but again, this NBA offseason is officially in complete chaos right as the draft ends, and we haven't had the free agency start yet, but it's already a chaotic NBA offseason. This is the first time that I can remember that in the first round and the second round, you had all these trades, whatever team picking 15th is now traded to this team, and then a trade again. It's just like this pick via this to here to here. There's a lot of fucking movement, especially last night. It seemed like every pick, the team that was supposed to pick was trading out of it or trading down. Just a lot of movement from this draft. It seemed like, from what I can remember in recent years, typically there's not a lot of activity, but it seemed like there's just a lot of moves. So already starting the offseason, a lot of chaos in the NBA. And obviously, the biggest news today is the LaMelo Ball trade. So he's going to Minnesota. Timberwolves send Naz Reid and an unprotected 2033 first, 3 first-round pick swaps and 3 second-round pick swaps to Charlotte. Now, what I don't understand, with this whole change of the NBA draft upcoming, you're sending picks that are like 6, 7, 8 years down the road when the whole draft cycle could be completely different and how these teams are seeded with the draft. I don't understand a fucking 2033 pick. We could have completely different draft rules. But nonetheless, that's what made up the LaMelo Ball trade. Looking at it on paper, Timberwolves get exactly what they've been looking for. A playmaker next to Anthony Edwards, somebody who can create offense, push the tempo, stretch defenses. They needed another creator, and they didn't have to get rid of Jaden McDaniels. So, the question is LaMelo worth what they gave up? He is talented. He's also a fucking knucklehead, and his durability has always been an issue. Now, before last season, he's played 36, 22, and 47 games. Last year, he finally played 72 games. So Timberwolves betting on the future that this version of LaMelo gets his head on straight and actually stays healthy. And there are some concerns for Minnesota. They just traded away a huge chunk of their front court. Naz Reid gone, Julius Randle gone. And now you got Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, LaMelo Ball. You're pretty thin everywhere else. So Minnesota, I don't know. They're all in on LaMelo Ball. I just don't know if down the road it makes sense. I mean, on paper, sure. But again, there's a lot of questions with LaMelo Ball. Obviously, his health, and he's a fucking knucklehead. Now, you look at Charlotte, they're betting on flexibility, right? They get Reed, future picks, pick swaps, cap space, and they can now reshape their entire roster around Brandon Miller. And it kind of makes you wonder, does Charlotte know something about LaMelo's long-term durability that nobody else does? I don't know. I feel like Charlotte's the winner here. Minnesota had to do something, but I guess we'll have to see how this pans out. You don't play the games on paper, right? Unless you're fucking Kenny Atkinson. But we'll have to see how this plays out for both these teams. And obviously, LaMelo, not the only move. The league has gone full fucking blender mode. I was banging on my Pistons yesterday, and now I get to bang on some more. They fucking traded Isaiah Stewart to the Grizzlies. Let me tell you, the Grizzlies had the best draft. You can argue that, but if you look at it, at all the 30 teams, Grizzlies were definitely in your top 5. And if you're not, you're fucking sleepwalking. Because that Grizzlies team, their front office did quite well in this draft. And then they make this move with the Pistons and get Isaiah Stewart, right? They traded, the Pistons traded Kareem Lopez to the Grizzlies and got the Stanford player, right? Which nobody thinks of Stanford as a basketball powerhouse, but I guess the fucking Pistons do apparently. They got their future second round picks back that they traded away to Memphis earlier. It's just back and forth with Memphis, but Isaiah Stewart now in the Grizzlies. I'll tell you what, that Grizzlies team, said it yesterday, once they figure out the Ja Morant situation, and if that knucklehead is going to get his shit straight and get his head right and actually play the way that he can play, that Grizzlies team is going to be pretty fucking good. Isaiah Stewart, I mean, he's physical, he's tough, he's a fucking menace, he's annoying. He plays bigger than he is. He protects the rim, and he gives the Grizzlies insurance behind Zach Edey. So it feels like this is a guy that Grizzlies fans are going to love right from the start. And, listen to a couple Grizzlies shows to see what their reaction is, and they love this fucking guy. They absolutely love this guy. And no idea what the fucking Pistons are doing. They get Ugonna do shit on Yenso. What the fuck is this guy? What are we doing? Whatever. So hopefully the Pistons have something else up their sleeve, because I see, I was reading some other writers and their grades in the draft. I think I saw somebody give the Pistons a B or a B+. I don't know what the fuck they're looking at, but I don't like the draft. I don't like what they did here, especially moving Isaiah Stewart. But I don't know. Somebody apparently knows what they're doing. I don't know if Trajan Langdon's making a move, if Bickerstaff is making a move. I don't know. But somebody, if this doesn't pan out with these moves, it needs to get fired, because this on paper looks bad for the Pistons. But some other notable moves here. The Pacers get Braden Smith. Chicago gets Cam Jones. Miami gets Ryan Conwell. And obviously, as like we said, Giannis going to Miami. Julius Randle, he's now moved off to Brooklyn. So massive roster resets for some of these teams. I still think the Grizzlies were the best team and the biggest winners from draft night. I mean, they absolutely crushed it. Cam Boozer at 3 was a fucking steal. Cam Boozer should have been a number 1 pick, but nonetheless, he goes 3 to Memphis. They got Kareem Lopez, Richie Saunders, I mean, pretty much if you look at draft reviews, they get an A or A plus rating for how they conducted their draft. It's a franchise changing haul for the Grizzlies with this draft. And then Oklahoma City somehow got even better when they landed Mara from Michigan, Bennett Sturts, Owe, and there's more young pieces for the defending champs. Probably means good old boy Chet Holmgren is on the move. You don't need him with fucking Mara and these other guys, and he was a waste of space anyway in the playoffs for them. So somehow Oklahoma City gets better. And then, the Washington, we're going to call them the Bullets. They will not be known as the other team, the fucking Wizards, and that stupid name. Same thing as the Redskins and the Cleveland Indians. No woke names on this fucking program. And let me go off on a tangent here while we're talking about names. I go on vacation for 2 weeks, and somehow we are now pronouncing the country Turkey as Turkey. What the fuck are we doing? It's fucking Turkey. And you will not get any World Cup bets on here because I don't give a flying fuck about soccer. While I respect the the athletes and the athleticism from the World Cup, I'd rather watch fucking paint dry. But when I heard about we are now calling Turkey Turkey, that's just fucking stupid. It's about as stupid as calling the Washington Bullets, the Washington Wizards, the Washington Redskins, the Washington Commanders, whatever the fuck they're called, and the Cleveland Indians are not the Cleveland Guardians or the Cleveland Indians. So anyway, the Washington Bullets, of course, get DeBansa at number 1, franchise cornerstone. And you would expect with Trae Young and Anthony Davis that there will be a huge improvement next year, potentially a playoff team in the East. And I said it yesterday. I think the biggest miss was Darius Acuff Jr. I said it all year long. This kid's the best player in college basketball. He goes to Sacramento, and Sacramento, while typically, like I said yesterday, Sacramento is typically like the New York Jets where your career goes to die because typically Sacramento just, the franchise really just isn't invested but they did have a decent draft, drafting Acuff. They got Alex Caravan from UConn. So, it just matters how much the franchise wants to invest and put pieces around these guys. But I think these 6 teams that passed on Acuff are going to regret it. Now, like I said, Boozer I thought was the number 1 pick, and I thought Acuff was right there at number 2, or you could have them 1A and 1B. But if the Kings can get their shit together, they got good players in Acuff and Caravan. And Bulls also had a strong draft. Caleb Wilson, he's a legitimate star with upside if he can just develop that jumper. So, other surprises other than Acuff slipping the set. Alex Caravan, I don't know how he slipped that late in the first round. And also, I don't know how Taris Reed slipped that late in the first round either. And Braden Smith falling in the second round. And then we talked about the Grizzlies. I think they won the draft, in my opinion. And we talked about Oklahoma City getting better. Free agency, we're just getting started with this. As we said, Lakers lock up Austin Reeves. Boston's still entertaining the offers for Jaylen Brown. And old man Al Horford, who's apparently still playing in the league, is on his way to Golden State. And obviously there'll be a lot more coming from the NBA as the offseason commences here as we wrap up the draft. So this is where the NBA offseason begins, and a lot more to come for sure. So let's go to the diamond. We'll cross the diamond, take a look at tonight's MLB action. Some afternoon games wrapping up, and an okay slate of night games. It's okay. But looking here, let me take a look here at MLB scoreboard real quick. The fucking Pirates won 5-1. Yay. Tampa Bay fucking clobbered Kansas City 13-2. San Francisco on top of Oakland 6-4, top of the eighth, and a couple others getting ready to start at 6:40, 6:45, and a little bit later on through the evening. So just looking at, like I said, it's an okay slate, an interesting board tonight. You know, obviously looking at park environment, because when you look at baseball betting, the matchup matters, pitchers matter, bullpens matter, but sometimes the park and the weather will tell you where the offense is most likely to show up. So if you're looking at ballparks, top run environment will be Yankees Red Sox at Fenway Park. So Fenway is showing runs up 15%, extra base hits up 30%, and home runs slightly boosted 3% if you look at that park environment for tonight. And then the next best hitting environment will come in the Phillies Nationals games. Phillies National game down there in D.C. or wherever the fuck that park is. But Phillies and Nationals, that's the second best hitting environment for tonight. Runs up 7%, homers up 4%, and doubles and triples up 11% when you look at the ballpark environment for tonight. And then Comerica Park for the Astros Tigers will be the third best ballpark on the slate of games tonight. Runs up 4%, and homers up 2%. So if you're looking for overs, team totals, those are again, this light slate. Those are the games that I kind of picked out and took note of, and the ballpark environment there. Now, the game that stands out of this light slate on baseball is the Yankees run line at getting plus money on the Yankees run line, -1.5. And look, weird shit happens in baseball. If it loses, it's baseball. But look, if you look at the Red Sox, they're in a fucking brutal spot. So this is how the last 24 hours look for the Red Sox. They blew yesterday's series finale in Denver, had a shit ton of travel chaos with weather. Their flight out of Denver had a turnaround after takeoff. They waited 5 hours because of some more severe weather. They didn't land in Boston until like 5, 6 a.m. So that's after a 6-game road trip through Seattle and Denver, no off day, and now you face the Yankees. That is a miserable fucking spot. And it gets worse because Cam Schittler, who's been fucking filthy, is on the mound. He's sitting with a sub-2 ERA, and that's over 95 innings. So he's a 1.71 ERA. He's allowed more than 2 runs in a start just once since mid-April, and he's only given up 5 homers. He's got a ridiculous 109 to 18 strikeout to walk ratio. That is a terrible spot if you're the Red Sox. And I know you're home, but that is just fucking terrible for the Red Sox. So Boston, they can't sit and wait for mistakes because Schittler's not really going to make many. They're going to need to manufacture runs somehow. And I don't know how they do that when you're exhausted, your offense can't get out of first gear, and they struggle mightily against right-handed pitching. And over the last 2 weeks, the Red Sox have ranked near the bottom in baseball against righties. And then you look at the Yankees, who they get Connolly early, and this is where the matchup fits. So early's surface ERA is 3.64. But the expected numbers are screaming regression here. It's a bad fit. Yankees have also been very good against lefties lately. They're about 280 average, on base percentage at 328, their slugging percentage at 439. It's a bad spot for Boston, but with Schittler on the mound and the Yankees doing very well against lefties lately, I think fucking Anthony Volpe's hitting, what's he hitting, like 280? He's probably like the hottest Yankee right now. And if you look at the market, the betting market agrees too. The Yankees open around minus 150 to minus 160. Some shops even touching minus 165. And looking at DraftKings, they had the most of the money line dollars on the Yankees. So public is all over it, and but even the sharp market is there as well, pushing it in that direction. So public and the sharp money on the Yankees tonight, and the Yankees are also the third best road team in baseball, 26-16. Wow, the fucking Red Sox have the worst home record in baseball at 12-25. 12-25. I mean, you fired Alex Cora. Your season's in shambles. You're 12-25 at home. So, this Yankees run line is absolutely in play. If you don't like the variance on the run line, I get it. But with that travel spot, the pitcher edge, the offensive edge, the Red Sox are in fucking shambles. I'd take that plus money on the run line. And yeah, I just think that, like I said, if it doesn't cash, to me, it's still the right side. Everything's stacking up against the Red Sox here. And the other game we mentioned, Phillies Nationals, second best hitting environment on the board for tonight. Now I did play this. It's not the Pikkit play of the day. I took under 8.5 runs. Now, the hitting environment's telling you over 8, but I'd only play it up to 8.5, which is why I took the under, because they got it at 8.5. So the Nationals Park is showing runs up 7%, homers up 4%, and extra base hits up 11%. But here's why I took the under 8.5. If you can get it at 8.5, I would take the under. And the only reason I did that is, again, I got the 8.5 number. If you don't get 8.5, take the over. But again, I don't know. The Phillies have Sanchez going on the mound, and he's just been lights out. Sub-2 ERA. It's like 180 ERA. Only 0.6 homers per 9, 1.7 walks per 9. And he's gone at least 5 2/3 in 10 straight starts. So it limits the Phillies bullpen coming in and fucking things up, because their bullpen is a mess. So, normally with Sanchez, that over scares you again, which is why I took the under 8.5. But if you get a smaller number, you might want to go over just because of the hitting environment, or fucking just keep pounding the under no matter what number it is. But again, I took it at under 8.5. Again, the weather here at Nationals Park is going to better hitting weather. Now, here's the thing. If Washington can somehow manufacture runs against Sanchez and get anything against Sanchez, or get him in a jam early, they might come away with a couple runs. And I just think the Phillies offense is too good in this ballpark, in this environment, and they're going to manufacture some runs. So, again, I took it at under 8.5. Even though the ballpark environment says you might get more than that. But if anybody but Sanchez was pitching, I probably would be on the over. But Sanchez's numbers are too good, and that 8.5 is too high here, I think. So I don't see the Nationals getting a lot of runs against Sanchez, if any. And then the other game we talked about is Astros money line was around plus money against Detroit. Also, from a ballpark environment, another angle here is playing over 8.5. Even play it, maybe even up to 9 if you get some decent juice here. The fucking Tigers, one of the biggest disappointments in all baseball this year. Had high expectations coming into the season, especially with that rotation. Just hasn't panned out. Ramber's been okay. Larity struggled, of course. Skubal, I don't even know. Whatever. Bullpen pieces just haven't been able to put it together. And now they're sitting at 33-44, and most likely going to be sellers at the trade deadline. Skubal's probably going to get moved. Not where I expected the Tigers to be, but nonetheless, here they are. I didn't touch this game. have a hard time betting on the fucking Astros. I just think they just fucking suck. But the actual play here would be Astros money line, and like I said, even if you want to take over 8.5, even up playable up to 9. But talking about teams in shambles, the Red Sox, the Tigers. Listen, I mean, nobody is more of a complete disaster, a complete fucking dumpster fire, other than the New York Mets. Listen, if you're a Mets fan, you should just burn all your fucking shit. I don't even, first of all, the Mets are like second-class citizens in New York. It should probably just get rid of that whole franchise. I just think the time the Mets are good is when you had Strawberry and Gooden doing cocaine in the locker room before they came out to play. And Hernandez was chopping some lines up with them. The Mets team is fucking terrible. This ownership is terrible. The players are fucking god-awful. I didn't realize, I heard this yesterday in WFAN. Apparently, Lindor came back, and now Soto took himself out. I don't know what the fuck his problem is, but apparently these two have not been on the field at all together all season. That's interesting. Apparently they don't like each other either. So the Mets have some fucking problems. The team just, I mean, I don't know. You can't even watch the fucking team. The Cubs just poured it on them. I'm not betting the game, but if you want to bet, probably just keep betting against the fucking Mets. This team is terrible, absolutely terrible for the amount of money they're paying these guys. They should just move out of Flushing, just fold completely. Major League Baseball would be a lot better without the fucking Mets. And if you're a Mets fan, oh well, I'm sorry, but you guys fucking suck, and you've sucked since fucking '86. So, and you get rid of Pete Alonso, who was I heard he was like the second most favorite Met player. It's David Wright, apparently, and they shipped him off. He wouldn't matter if he was here. This team would still suck. This team is absolutely terrible. We already talked about the Red Sox. They're a fucking mess. Tigers are a mess. Another fascinating mess, the San Francisco Giants. Now, they did get the walk-off homer for us last night, cashed the Pikkit play day, so thank you very much, Giants. But the big picture is this roster has real problems. Devers' contract looks rough. William Adames deal, that doesn't look great either. Matt Chapman has that no-trade clause, and Buster Posey's front office he's going to start catching some heat if they don't turn this around. But they just look like a fascinating mess up there in the Bay Area. So, again, thank you, Giants, for that walk-off last night, cashing that Pikkit play of the day. But aside from that, you guys fucking stink, too. As a Dodgers fan, it was hard to bet on the Giants, but I just felt that was a good spot for them last night. Sweated it out, but that's my own fault for taking them. May not do it again at all this season, but I don't know. I liked the spot. Go figure. And they pulled it out. But another interesting story, and then we'll move on to Tommy Trend and then get you the Pikkit play of the day and get on out of here. But another interesting story from Major League Baseball last night was you had Shohei on the mound against the Twins and Dalton rushing behind the plate catching as Will Smith is out with a neck injury. Now, again, Shohei outstanding again, 6 innings, 200 runs, 8 strikeouts, picked up his 8th win of the season, and even went 2 for 5 with an RBI at the plate. His ERA is now down to a ridiculous 1.58 ERA. But here's the interesting story with this. And I like Dalton rushing, but I think somebody's got to step in and help this kid find his way. The second inning, and cameras caught Ohtani. He was visibly frustrated with rushing after what it looked or appeared to be a disagreement over pitch selection. Now, if you watch Ohtani when he pitches, you know that that's rare. He's not really emotional, especially when he's pitching. He's more emotional, I think, as a hitter than as a pitcher. He's usually more calm than anyone in baseball. Now, to Rushing's credit, he looked pretty embarrassed afterward. And then, the Dodgers did settle in. and they scored 3 runs the next inning, and they cruised the win. Mookie Betts got his 300th homer. But the big takeaway here with this is Rushing is a talented young catcher. But when you're catching for one of the best pitchers in the game, sometimes you got to trust the guy on the mound and his experience as a veteran here. And now everything ended fine. It's just definitely something to keep an eye on if he's going to be Ohtani's regular battery mate here, especially while Will Smith is out. It was kind of odd to see him disagree with Ohtani and then the frustration from Ohtani. Like I said, they kind of settled in and got it worked out, but I don't know. Somebody's got to step in. I think Rushing's 24, 25. So he's got to grow up a little bit. We'll see. So hopefully Dave Roberts or somebody takes him under his wing and says, look, especially if it's Ohtani, you trust his judgment. And, like I said, Ohtani doesn't usually get frustrated, but you could visibly see he was frustrated last night. So we'll see if that has any impact down the road. But just thought it was interesting last night watching that game. But really all that matters, Giants got it done last night. Cash the Pikkit play of the day. First Pikkit play of the day in about 2 weeks as we were on vacation. So nice to get the win and pick up right where we left off. That's really how you come back from vacation. So a couple other things to note before we get to Tommy Trend and get you the Pikkit play of the day. Like I said, the games to watch on this light MLB slate tonight. Yankees run line. We already said against the woeful Red Sox. I'm getting plus money there with the Yankees. Phillies Nationals. I took under 8.5. The ballpark stats say over 8. I wouldn't play it up more than 8.5 if you're playing the over, but that's just me. Astros getting plus money there, and also Astros Tigers over. I didn't bet this. Also, fucking Cubs money line against the Mets. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but just bet against the Mets. And my guess is, and maybe I should start doing this. Maybe I just bet against the Mets every day from here on out for the rest of the season and track it and see how much I'm up on ROI and how many units I'm up, because I feel like that's a safe fucking bet because that team is a complete dumpster fire. Also another game, Diamondbacks Cardinals over. Would be another one to keep an eye on this light MLB slate tonight. So, all right, we'll get you to the Tommy Trend of the day. And now I promise I didn't make this one up. This is almost as funny as Sam Darnold. It was his grandfather or great-grandfather, Dick Hammer, was a Marlboro Man. This isn't quite as crazy as that, but it's right up there. So again, I did not make this up. You can fact check it. This is not fake news. Now, apparently, new Grizzlies draft pick, Richie Saunders, has a legacy that's almost more impressive than making the NBA and almost more impressive as Sam Darnold's great-grandfather, Dick Hammer, being the Marble Man or grandfather, whatever the fuck he was. But this is right up there. So Richie Saunders, his great-grandfather literally invented tater tots. That's right. The man responsible for every school lunch, every dinner side, every late-night snack after those bars close. That's Richie Saunders' family. So forget the silver spoons. This guy grew up with golden potatoes. Unbelievable. And Memphis didn't just draft a shooter. He drafted the heir to the tater tot empire here. Who knew? Richie Saunders. He holds the key to the tater tot empire. So if this kid starts knocking down threes this year, we may have to start calling him Tater Threes. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, look, if this kid becomes a star, or Ida better be the first company calling for that endorsement deal. So Richie Saunders' great-grandfather, the inventor of tater tots, and that is your Tommy Trend of the day. And like we said, the Tommy Trend can be a betting trend. It can be some weird sports fact, whatever the fuck we want to do. But that's your Tommy Trend of the day there with Richie Saunders. So I guess if Richie Saunders, if he fails with the Grizzlies, or if NBA career doesn't pan out, it'll just take over the tater tot empire. So good for Richie Saunders there. All right, let's move on. Pickett play of the day. And if you haven't figured it out by now, we are, after all the talk, we are taking the Yankees run line at plus money here tonight against the Red Sox. It's a bad spot for the Red Sox. Everything's pointing to the Yankees. The public likes it. The sharp money likes it. We like it. Trying to keep the Pickett play of the day streak going after a return from vacation here. So we like the Bronx Bombers tonight to get it done at Fenway with the run line tonight against the woeful Red Sox. God, I hope I don't know. It's kind of bad when the public and the sharp money's on one side, but look, the Red Sox have just been brutal, and after the travel nightmares, it just kind of, it points to an absolute. I can see this being a fucking blowout. The Yankees just smacked the shit out of the ball tonight at Fenway. And this game is just a complete disaster for the Red Sox. But we like it. That's the Pickett play of the day. It is posted on our X page at OTH Sports Pod. You can also track it on Pikkit. If you're not using Pikkit, what are you doing? Come on. Download the Pikkit app. Follow us on Pikkit. Put in code OTH. And let's have some fun. Track us on Pikkit. Everything's posted there. Lots of good stuff on Pikkit. You can track all your friends, all your bets, everything in one place. Of course, the live movements for live betting. Everything is right there at your fingertips with Pikkit. And as always, the show is powered by Pikkit. And we use it to track our card, compare lines, compare books. And it keeps everything for us all in one place. Track it, share it, follow the action with Pikkit. That's a wrap for tonight. We'll be back, though, tomorrow. Big show tomorrow. Listen, and if you got value out of this, help us grow this thing the right way. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with a friend, and every click helps us build this community and help you guys beat the books, because that's the whole objective here. Is have fun, talk some sports, and of course beat the books and make some money. Follow us on X and YouTube at OTH Sports Pod. Breaking news, daily picks, clips, our Pickett play today. We'll be there every single day now that we're not on vacation mode. Like I said, come on, you got to use Pikkit. Download it, follow us, put in code OTH, and track us there on Pikkit, and track our Pickett plays of the day. I told you, we're going to be transparent. Everything is right there on Pikkit, so join us and put in code OTH when you set up your account. Tommy Trends, my boys Mookie and Nash are hanging out. They are by the door once again waiting for another walk. And somehow they always know it's walk time. That's all we do laps and walk and walk and walk. But big show tomorrow. We got Clown of the Week. We got Bark Bets featuring a pup up for adoption from Freedom First Rescue. We'll get you caught up on the Travelers, get you set up for the weekend action. Any other NBA chaos, MLB stuff that unfolds, we'll have it for you tomorrow, probably around the same time, 4-ish, 5 o'clock, but we'll post it on our X page at OTH Sports Pod. We're back, all that chaos tomorrow, and Off the Hook will go off the rails, where internet shitstorm meets betting chaos and all that good stuff. We'll go off the rails. So for my boys Mookie and Nash, Tommy Trends, good luck tonight. And remember, the books don't give refunds. Do your homework, shop your lines, never stop looking for the edge. Good luck in your bets tonight, and let's cash some tickets. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. We gone.